Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Alia Maisara binti Aziz. My metric number 2019442242 and I'm from class IC 1104CB. So I will present my part. Firstly, about definition of Tadlis. Tadlis is a fraud in contracting where it involves the seller and the buyer. For example, in the situation that the seller does not inform if there is a defect in the goods purchased by their customer. According to Islamic view, fraud is forbidden in entering into a contract. If there is such a fraud, then automatically the contract is considered fasid or invalid. Many views from the mazhab about this tadlis, which can be seen among them, is that for Hanafi mazhab, fraud will not invalidate in the contract, or in other words, the fraud must be accompanied by a price error, or we call it ghaban. Secondly, about evidence of tadlis. From Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 42, which means, and do not mix the truth with the false, and you hide the truth while you all know it. The meaning here is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbids every contract that have the existence of fraudulent malpractice that can affect both contracting parties. So every contract must be clearly and openly stated to avoid misunderstanding for both parties. Next evidence of Tadlis is from Surah Al-An'am, verse 152, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the meaning, and come not near to the orphan's property except to improve it until he or she attains the age of full strength, and give full measure and full weight with justice. We burden not any person but that which he can bear. And whenever you give your word, example, judge between men and give evidence, say the truth. Even if a near relative is concerned, and fulfill the covenant of Allah, this He commands you that you may remember. This meaning of above ayah is that in muamalah, the seller must be honest in the scale and not commit any fraud to the buyer. This is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbids any fraud that occur in muamalah. They also must trust that if there is any defect in the goods, they must inform the defect to their customer. My last part is about reason of prohibition tadlis. There are two reasons of prohibition tadlis. Firstly, affect both parties to the contract, that is for the seller of the proceeds obtained from the fraudster, it is illegal. It means he devour the proceeds of the vain money for his act of deceiving the defect in the goods, such as proposition mentioned, an-nahi an ashay, nahi an wasailhi. It means prohibition of something, then prohibition to all means of its support. The second reason of prohibition tadlis is about forbidden to the buyer who buys the goods which have such a defect because he consumed the unjust produce. This is because the fraud can have a dangerous effect to the contracting parties, because the proceeds by both parties are illegal, such as proposition mentioned, la darar wa la dirar, which means there can be no harm and mutual harm. That's all from me. Thank you.